Greetings from El Carmelo Retreat House, where I've come for a meeting, and I want to offer you once again a reflection on St. Joseph on this Wednesday. And we've come now to the seventh sorrowful and joyful mystery in the life of St. Joseph, which is the time when Jesus was lost in the temple, and of course when they found him.
How can that be a sorrow and a joy at the same time?
Well, it was a joy going up. They rejoiced when they said, I rejoiced when they said to me, we're going to the house of the Lord. So they were on pilgrimage. It was an annual thing required by the law. Joseph certainly had to do it. It's interesting that Mary and Joseph, with their 12-year-old, went. Most mothers would have had to stay home with younger children. So Mary is on pilgrimage too. And Jesus is 12, so this is the first time that he's actually going to be taught by Joseph how to conduct the Seder meal, because they would be taking a lamb to Jerusalem for the sacrifice. Isn't that correct? You're a biblical scholar.
Yeah.
And so it was a beautiful thing, and they're traveling with their neighbors in a caravan and going up to Jerusalem, for the Passover. And they would have had the meal and all the beauty of that religion. Jesus saying to Joseph, Father, why is this night the most important of nights?
Right? Amazing, yeah.
Jesus would be asking
the actual
Joseph.
God is actually asking his
right.
Right.
And of course, the Passover is so significant for understanding our own Christian religion in terms of the Eucharist and the Last Supper and so on and so forth. So it is.
So how would they do that? They would go up to Jerusalem, and then where would the Seder meal be? In somebody's home, right?
I don't know. You're supposed to know that. You're the biblical scholar. But when they left, they were with a group of people, and the families and other friends and things like that. They didn't think anything of it, that Jesus wasn't walking right next to their side. It was a whole day later when they looked and said, "Well, where's Jesus?" And you can imagine the grief, the sorrow and the anxiety and worry that we always think of it as Mary's worry, but it was Joseph too. Joseph, who had this awesome responsibility to educate this child, which he had done, of course. He was actually entering into manhood at 12 years old. And so they frantically looked for him for 2 days. I say frantically, well, they're holy people, so they must have somehow believed in the providence of God when they know about their son. So, but still, it's a human thing. And it's just hard for us to comprehend the word. Well, actually, Mary tells us. When they find Jesus, Mary says to her son, "Son, do you not know that your father and I have sought you sorrowing?"
Yes, right.
And that's when he says, "Well, did you not know that I had to be about my father's business?" And that must have been a painful thing for Joseph to hear. In a way, he knows he's responsible as a shadow of the father to raise this divine child, but still, it must have been part of that sorrow to hear that. But at the same time, the joy of having him, and go back to
the joy
of finding him.
I would say that's all three main mysteries: joy, then sorrow, losing him, the glory of finding him. And there in the temple was a prefiguring of the resurrection.
Right. And then him accompanying his parents, like he should, back to Nazareth, and there he stayed with them, obedient to his parents. And I think it's in that might not be that verse. It might be another verse where he says he grew in age, wisdom, and grace
before God and men. Yeah, no, that's age 12. Yeah.
Right. So Jesus has a human formation, and Joseph is integral to that. And to think of Joseph teaching Jesus about the Passover. Jesus, who is the Passover lamb.
Teaching.
It's pretty amazing
about the lamb that he
So
is.
we contemplate the humanity of Christ and the role of Joseph.
And I would say also, the role of the importance of some people are doing as we transition from the close of the year of St. Joseph. Some people are saying, why don't we go? We have consecration of Jesus through Mary, through Joseph. Why not also finish it off with the consecration of the Holy Family? And the fact that in that mystery, every family can see the suffering that even the Holy Family went through without sin, but they were worried, they're anguishing just like regular families are.
Thank you. You've just given me a wonderful reflection for the next Wednesday. So
Oh,
please join us
okay.
next Wednesday. Go to
Oh,
Joseph.
And also just notice that we have this statue behind us that one of our friars spent years thinking was Saint Therese and her father. It's actually Jesus and Joseph.